What is up, car addicts? In this video I'm going to be giving a guide for this week's normal time trial, RC Bandito time trial, and the premium race for this week, totaling over $300,000. Remember, the time trials can only be completed once a week for the full $100,000 payout. The premium race, however, can be completed in a limited amount of times with a 48-minute cooldown between each win. Also keep in mind that rocket-powered / flying vehicles cannot be used in time trials. So, starting off with the time trial this week, which is Stab City, I highly recommend either the Shotaro, Pikachu Drag, Batty 801, Emerus, or a Krieger for this time trial. However, this time trial does give a good bit of extra time depending on how well you do, so there's a lot of other vehicles you can use to complete it with as well. In terms of route, this one's pretty tricky and there's a few different routes and shortcuts you can use to complete it with, but in this video we're going to be using this route right here, which is arguably the fastest one. Now, the hardest part of this time trial is definitely avoiding the traffic and doing the off-road shortcut properly. As always, I will be attempting to use either the casino podium vehicle or the prize ride of the current event week on these time trials if they're quick enough to complete them. So for this event week, we have the Dominator GTT as the prize ride and the Zeruso on the casino podium. Now, the Dominator GTT is a good contender for this one. I just personally feel it lacks a bit of a top speed and the stability for the off-road shortcut. I just feel that the Zeruso is the better overall car for this particular time trial, so that's the one I ultimately decided to use. Moving on to this week's RC Bandito time trial, which is Construction Site 1. As always, you need to own an RC Bandito in order to participate in these. So this one is pretty difficult if you've never done it before, due to the high speed tight corners and the ramps as well to go to different floors. The biggest tip I can give for this one is to take it slow, as it can get very frustrating if you're trying to go too fast on this particular one. This RC time trial is not about speed, it's about consistency. That's the main thing you want to take away from this one. And remember that for those ramps to go to different floors, make sure to brake before them, and when you use those brakes, make sure to press them in about halfway, not all the way, or you might lose control of your Bandito. And lastly, we have this week's premium race, which is Crossing Paths. Now this one is restricted to the Sports Classics class. I highly recommend either the Retinue Mark II, Turismo Classic, Cheetah Classic, or the Rapid GT Classic for this race. Now this one is a bit tricky if you've never done it before. You have to practice your braking points and your racing lines for this race, especially to get a feel for your car on that particular track because of the way it reacts to the curbs and all that stuff. I would recommend doing the regular version of this race first if you've never done it before. Also to note, in my run you might see me going on sidewalks and curbs and taking different lines, and that is because curbs act as a speed boost for those of you who didn't know. Now the Retinue Mark II is by far the quickest vehicle for this race. However, I wanted to use the Rapid GT Classic as I enjoy driving it a bit more, plus I wanted a bit more of a challenge to be honest. But again, here's the race with my fully upgraded Rapid GT Classic. And that's it guys, the normal time trial is definitely one of the harder ones, but if you use a quick car and can avoid the traffic, you should be able to complete it pretty easily. The RC time trial is a bit tricky, but it can be done if you brake a lot extra for the corners and take it slow. And this week's premium race might take some practice if you've never done it before. Again, remember guys, you can earn over 300,000 between the three of us a week, and setting yourself to go to beat them is always a lot of fun in my personal opinion. Let me know which one you found most difficult and what vehicles you used down below in the comments. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.